Hey Morris Knolls, welcome to our first edition of News from the Nest for the 2021 to 2022 school year.
This is our first show since March 11, 2020, and big changes are here. So let's get things started.
I'm Avery Morin with my co-host Anaya Farr. We have a lot in store for you in the upcoming weeks, including in-depth news packages about our community, society, and Morris Knolls.
Today's show includes insight on teenage driving, trophy hunting, and how COVID is impacting our community.
As we all know, the pandemic has impacted many people over the course of these few years. It has had a substantial impact on the mental health of many students. Here's reporter Juliet Krasnomowitz with more on the subject.
This year has been more challenging than before, coming to terms with the new normal of the terms and conditions during the COVID-19 pandemic. COVID-19 has had negative effects on high school students' mental health. A poll taken by Young Minds last year said that 83% of high school students with pre-occurring mental illnesses said their condition had become worse due to COVID. And 26% of adolescents said access to mental health support has become more challenging affected by COVID. Last year, 70% of New Jersey high schools reported they did not have enough mental health professionals to meet students' needs. High school students are so limited to resources to help them due to closures and COVID restrictions. Pandemic fatigue as well has led to the negative impact on adolescents' mental health. Anxiety, depressive thoughts, and lack of productivity are all effects COVID has had on students. It's clear the world will never go back to completely normal. Rather, we need to find solutions and constructs for a different, new way of life. Parents and educators play a critical role in knowing when children and students may need help. They can help their kids and students by checking in with them and communicating their feelings to cope with stress, and show and give support to them when they may need it. They should as well look for warning signs and behaviors that are related to adolescents struggling, such as insomnia, anxiety, frequent or intense tantrums, and disruption of eating habits. Some preventative tips and techniques to help with students and their mental health are setting and making healthy habits for themselves, like eating meals at the same time every day, stick to regular sleep times, keep close connections to people you feel can provide a sense of trust and stability, find activities and exercises you enjoy, like going for walks or runs, and use reliable, trustworthy sources to find your information about COVID, and do not let COVID chatter become a constant background in your life. There are as well several preventative techniques and activities to cope with COVID-affected mental health issues, such as going to therapy and finding a mentor, giving yourself mental health days, self-care routines and workbooks, anxiety workbooks, and quarantine coping books. If you have any more questions, then refer to this website. This has been Juliet Krasnomowitz reporting for News from the Nest.
I know that COVID affected my work ethic in school and other struggles personally. I'm definitely going to use some of those tips to relieve the stress we've been feeling over this pandemic. However, I'm feeling less stressed right now after being vaccinated and using a mask because I'm protecting myself.
Speaking about the stress of the pandemic, another thing that many of us stress about is the vaccine against COVID. Many of us know what it is, but don't know why we should all receive it. Here is reporter Leo Garcia with more on the matter.
COVID-19 has been a life changer for most. But getting the COVID-19 vaccine can help our communities get back to a sense of normal, as well as saving people's lives.
According to the CDC, COVID-19 vaccines do not change or interact with your DNA. The COVID-19 mRNA vaccines use a new approach by which mRNA is delivered into our cells to provide genetic instructions for our own cells to temporarily make a specific viral protein, the coronavirus spike protein that triggers an immune response. While getting the vaccines can help fight against COVID, it cannot absolutely protect against getting the virus. If you get vaccinated and are not immunocompromised, it can reduce the effects and symptoms of the virus and even prevent a visit to the hospital. With the new SARS being discovered, if you're a regular traveler, it's good to be vaccinated to reduce the effects of exposure. Some destinations are also required the record of vaccination to enter. After the shots, you might experience a sore arm, a mild fever, or body aches, but this does not mean you have of COVID-19. Symptoms, if they happen at all, are temporary, usually lasting only a day or two. They signal a natural response as your body's immune system learns to recognize and fight the coronavirus. On the other hand, without getting a vaccine, getting COVID-19 could make you seriously ill with symptoms that linger for months or even longer. Vaccines are one of the most convenient and safest preventive care measures available. Over 212 million people in the US have been safely vaccinated. The US has robust approval progress to ensure that all licensed vaccines are safe. The vaccines themselves were extensively tested by independent scientists. When you get vaccinated, you're protecting yourself and your family as those in your community who may not be able to get vaccinated. Vaccines will keep you healthy, like eating healthy foods, exercising, and getting regular checkups.
This has been Leo Garcia reporting from News from the Nest.
With this in mind, hopefully people will consider the importance of a vaccine and its impact towards others in our community in order to manage the virus.
One of the bigger milestones in high school is getting your license and the privilege to drive. With that responsibility, students need to be safe. It's important we learn from our peers about the issues that come with team driving and what we could do to fix this. Reporter Allison Ramirez is here to provide insight.
7 teenagers die every day in New Jersey motor vehicle accidents. According to the CDC, car crashes are the second leading cause of death for teens in the U.S. In New Jersey, teens are responsible for 13% of car wrecks. Here's what some students from Morris Knolls had to say.
I think my driving is good, but I do have a little experience, so not the best it's ever going to be, but it'll definitely get better.
I feel pretty good, but I feel like people in the gold lot could definitely learn how to drive a little better.
Pretty good.
I feel pretty good about myself driving.
Fine. I find it relaxing and satisfying sometimes.
I think my driving is excellent, and I think the rest of the school drives pretty all right.
I feel that they're safe and that they just need to get off their phones.
I feel that some of my peers driving, I don't really feel safe.
I feel confident on the road, yeah.
Yes, I do. I feel amazing.
The most fatal wrecks are of drivers between the ages of 16 to 17 because they are 3 times more likely to underestimate dangerous situations. Some situations include road work not being acknowledged, highways being used as racing grounds, and speeding in school zones. According to the AAA Foundation, about 258,000 kids are hospitalized every year due to injuries in teenage-led driving accidents. New drivers and students with underdeveloped scanning skills often detect a hazard later than experienced drivers, increasing crash risk. The leading causes of accidents are caused by teens who are inexperienced in driving and are greatly influenced by their peers, such as being forced to use drugs and/or alcohol. As driver's ed teacher Ms. Neenstadt once said, paying attention to parents or guardians driving can furthermore improve teen driving if paid attention to. Peer pressure while driving always ends with bad results. Kids are influenced to speed, cut other cars off, and ignore street signs by a peer that is in the passenger seat. Being under the influence causes dangerous driving manners, whereas teens seem to care less about others who also happen to be on the road and/or how they are driving. Several young kids are influenced by many diversions and have to suffer the consequences following their actions. Although the excitement of driving for the first time is great, everyone still needs to be sure to take all precautions possible to avoid injuring themselves and/or anyone else. This has been Allison Ramirez reporting from News from the Nest.
That senior lot definitely gets crazy at times, but we have to do our part to keep down accident rates by being more responsible once we get the privilege to drive.
Another privilege people in our area utilize is hunting. Whether it be for sport or survival, we all either have or know someone who participates in hunting. Some people, however, take it a step further.
Trophy hunting, or the act of killing animals for pleasure, has been deemed a big ethical debate whether it should be illegal or not. Though this originally was for survival, trophy hunting has turned to a display or to obtain bragging rights. According to the societypages.org, trophy hunting became popular in the late 1800s. It began as a conservation tool when the Europeans arrived in North America. It was also common practice to hang deer heads to demonstrate a sign of healthy and successful land. Recently, as of the late 2000s, trophy hunting has focused on endangered species. The trophies would be any form of animal body, most notably the head, genitals, tusks, tails, or parts of skin. There are companies that will capture and send certain animals to private islands, where hunters can pay money to kill these animals in a confined region. This is called canned hunting. Most of this is done on confidential islands or private lands where the wildlife laws are often difficult to uphold effectively. According to bantrophyhunting.org, the big five are lions, elephants, leopards, rhinoceros, both black and white, and Cape buffalo. These animals are deemed the impressive prizes in the trophy hunting world. In 2018, the campaign to end trophy hunting was set up. They are determined to stop this madness, but they call for strict action. They are fighting for immediate laws against killing endangered species, enforcing national and international laws against trophy hunting, exemptions on trophy hunting from international relations to be frowned upon, and toughen penalties to those who violate these laws. There are pledges and donations on websites such as humanesociety.org to promote this cause. The Humane Society sets up events to speak about this issue of general animal abuse to prompt new ideas to stop this issue. Since 2020, over 3,700 animals have been rescued from cruelty cases, and over $1 million have been collected for organizations for bantrophyhunting.org. Right now, 43 states allow cruel and brutal wildlife killing contests. The best way to support this cause is speaking about this issue. Donate to groups such as the National Wildlife Federation and bantrophyhunting.org of the Sierra Club. Use signs and social media to end the normalities of trophy hunting. Animals and the environment are dying for a prize. Trophy hunting causes a detriment to the animal populations and reduced reproductive outputs, which is damaging to human and animal genetic diversity. It is our duty to realize and do something about this issue, so get to talking and researching and help save our animals. My name is Avery Morin from News from the Nest.
We hope that you enjoyed the new format and look forward to creating new episodes.
If you would like to see more, subscribe to our YouTube page following the link at the bottom of the Morris Knolls webpage.
Click the News from the Nest logo and then the bell to be informed of new uploads. This has been the best from the Nest.